That's the quote. As we continue our journey, this beautiful view, and I look inside and it says to me, and so we are heading out to war. So guess what? We are starting a war. Oh, we're starting warring. Warring is a concept new, and it is rather part of the home movement. The home movement. So it's wealth, health, order, and magnanimity. And so today we are starting a new journey, a new chapter actually in the home book as well, which is called W.A.R. Warring, which is, for clarification, walking and reading. So the concept is based on I am going to be walking, and hopefully eventually this will develop into a movement and we could have other people from other locations at the same time warring. So, and we could stream this live hopefully somewhere on YouTube, on TikTok, and other platforms. However, today is the first day of warring, and so I'm heading out a bit late start. However, we are going warring. So I am heading out the door to the war room, or to war, and I'm going to take you along on this journey. So as I get ready, I have the backpack full of goodies or whatever's, and somewhere along the journey we'll see what the content of the backpack is. It is loaded with stuff, not food. Why not food? But we'll see, and we'll see how the warring goes. So here we start at minute number 1. I should put on the timer, but I will just check it out on my watch. It's 5 minutes after the hour, and so I'm not going to say what hour it is, but it's still in the morning. And so we are heading out to war. Walk and read, or walking and reading. So there we go. So it's literally the weekend, and taking some time out to war, walking and reading, and also on my way I am taking out the garbage. So heading out the gate to this war zone, walking and reading for clarification. And so we're going to see how this turns out. I am very optimistic it's gonna develop into something interesting on the channel, the 758-876, which is based on dreams, desires, and aspirations. And so this new series of warring, walking and reading is starting today. Don't forget, to like, subscribe, and share the message. Getting ready. Backpack is on. Here we have the backpack full of goodies. So we're gonna head west. We're gonna head west. In this westerly direction is what we're gonna do. So come along and enjoy the program. Enjoy the walk and read and walk. War. Walk and read. Some vegetation that we could see as we explore on our walk and read. Today the reading of choice. The reading of choice is from a book that was given to us as managers from our CEO. It's the 4 disciplines of something. So you could check it out over here. It is a book that he has given us to read early in the year, and some of us are still going through it. Some of us are still just starting it. So different stages, different managers are at different stages of that book. So as we continue on the journey, we are going to explore some locations, and the country of choice at the moment is Jamaica. So at the moment there's a big tree from where I am from originally, which is St. Lucia. We call it a shack tree, shack, because it produces these, can I find one? These which have the seeds inside. Those seeds that when it's dried, it has a rattle sound like this. Rattle, rattle, rattle. So we call it a shack, as in an instrument that is played in our folk music. So we call this a shack tree. Whatever the scientific name is, I do not know. Not about to find out. However, we continue on our war journey. Let's go. So I have come up on an interesting sign which I want to explore a little over there. War. I keep saying war. I hope nobody comes warring with me on Barbican Drive. And the sign says, what is this? A thorny plant. And the sign says Neighborhood Watch. That's at Barbican Foster Davis Drive. So we continue on the journey, wherever it is that we get to sit and read from that book that I mentioned, the 4 disciplines. So at this time I am filming this, or going on this first war journey, walking and reading. Here's a huge mango tree. Mango, I'm not sure what type it is. However, I was saying that a few days ago, actually, coming into the week from last weekend, the Hurricane Melissa just went through Jamaica, and some places, as in Kingston and the environ, were not so badly damaged, or hardly. However, on the outskirts, or the other communities, or the parishes like St. Elizabeth and these areas more western of the country, were badly beaten, were badly damaged, were bruised and broken. And so the country is on a relief effort right now to assist those people. So if you are able to provide any kind of relief at this time, you can do so. I do not know, there are probably some websites and some other contact information that are provided for people to be able to contribute to a relief effort for the people of Jamaica, mostly on the western coast of Jamaica, West Coast Jamaica. So some of the sites on the journey, as we go through, this one says Diplomat Community. Well, it's missing an M. It's a canal, or in some places I think they call it a gully. However, we continue the journey. on this WAR, walk and read. Walk and read. Let's go walk and read. So I'm making an unofficial pit stop just for a little sight and sound kind of moment. This would be a bus stop. A bus stop. Again, where I'm from, we would call it a shanty, where you wait on the bus to be picked up. This one has kind of sitting structure underneath. We could see some fruit trees here, which would be here in Jamaica. They call it sweet sop. Sweet sop. In St. Lucia, we call it, in Creole, we call it pomme cannelle or sugar apple. Sugar apple. But here in Jamaica, it's called the sweet sop. So just a little more sights and sound. Maybe in the distance we could see some mountains, and on the hill over there you could see some more buildings. I don't think we'll get that far today, but just to zoom in a little, the hill area. So we continue on this journey of WAR, walking and reading. Here's some pottery, which is flower pots and those type of things where you can plant your flowers in at home. Some sort of a gully or canal. I think that's the same one that we saw on the bottom. But I'm going to explore in this WAR program, walking and reading. The reading today, as I said, is coming from a book that was given to us as managers by our CEO. So I'm going to have a sit down somewhere in the journey, and I'm going to read a couple passages from that book. The passage I'm choosing today, or the section from a chapter, has to do with scorebooks, scorecards, scoreboards. Because there's somewhere that states, what you're not measuring, you're not changing, or something like that. Or what is measured, you can change. So as a point of documenting, I'm just taking a view of where I came from. So in case I have to backtrack my journey back. This would be a little corner store, roadside. So yeah, we are continuing up this locale of this location and see where it leads to. So I am coming upon some interesting plants. I'm not sure if they're native to here, but back home in St. Lucia we have these, and in some places they put some egg shells over the thorns. I think this one here is the family of the cactus. Grown, yes. So speaking of which, here is another cactus species. Very cactusy. Looking back at where I'm coming from, oh yeah, there's a song like this. Right over there, we could see mountains in the distance. And also, there's mountains up top over there that we could see sometime soon. So maybe we sneak a peek on this fruit stand where people are getting their morning refreshment. Oh, here's another cactus species. So that's 3 we have seen so far. So we are continuing on this journey of WAR, reading, walking. So it's walking and reading. We are going, warring. So coming up on this corner here, or this three-way, you can see this amazing huge tree. Not sure what the name is, but it's huge. We can still see the lush vegetation, coconut over there. And at this junction of Ligani Avenue. So I think that goes into the rest of town. So it's at Barbican Drive with Ligani Avenue. We are currently at a crossroad kind of thing. We're not fully crossed, but a three-way of Barbican Drive, the way, and Ligani Avenue over there. Ligani Avenue over there, which is going back east, and this one is going north and east. So it's more like a crossroads. Which way do you go? Which way do you go? So Ligani Avenue is going back into town, and I'd have to go back down. However, for Barbican Drive, I'm going to continue on to Barbican Drive and see how far up we can go, find a good spot, check the contents of the bag, and then have a read. So on the straightaway, I took a left turn, and it's pointing me at this view, mountainous view. Bringing it a bit, let's scour the area, scan it a bit, what it looks like. Zoom out. Zoom out. There is a program called Zoom Out from Burlow, Mr. Bernard Alexander. Zoom Out. What's up with this program? When are you guys going to have a sit down with me on the podcast? Let's take a look at this mountainside. Buildings. So this camera is not one for taking close-ups from distance. It is more or less a vlogging camera. So it's the ZV-E10, Sony ZV-E10 that I am using today. So here is a sign. We are in Millsboro Court at the corner of Wellwyn Avenue and Millsboro Court. So we're going to go for another 10 minutes or so and then find a good spot to do the R part of the W.A.R, the reading part. So we are currently walking, and I'm going to find a good spot to do the reading after I have shared the contents of the backpack. I'm not sure what the sensitivity here is to filming. However, I will try to portray as much as possible. I see there's a very nice hillside area. I've always wanted to film this area with the drone, but again, we have to see. I do have the drone with me. So just catching a good glimpse of the view while vehicles are not close to me, and they say, hey, shut off this camera, and I'm like, it's not shutting off, can you help me please? And so I get a view of whoever is asking me to shut off the camera. That would be a good storyline for the viewing public. Maybe it turns out into a comedy show. Somebody's chopping down trees, Jamaican style. Yo, yeah man. So we're at a place called 11 what? The beautiful colors at 11. What I want to portray in this scene is that this is how multiple households have been powered up. whether it's electricity, some kind of utility line from the pole, and it comes to one common pole that distributes it via different meters and different households. And that is very common here in Jamaica. And I think I also saw some of this in Africa when we visited last December. So I just turned back and I saw this beautiful view of what looks like Kingston area at the port, and I think behind it would be Portmore, and we could see the cranes in the background. I will try to take a cleaner view with my phone. So this is the view I was speaking about. As you could see, if I zoom in, some part of Kingston, the port, the cranes, and in the further back would be Portmore area, I think. This is where we came from. Oh, what a view. Well, not necessarily, not fully, but now you can see more of the port and some of those cranes in the distance. Jamaica, port of Kingston, the port of Jamaica in the background. Let's see, and the view of the hill area, the hillside I was over there on top of the hill. As we continue, find a good spot to do some reading. Okay, we are about an hour plus into the journey, and now we'll find a good spot to do the R portion. So what do you know, I found me a spot. I'm not going to qualify it as good or not, however it has a little bit of shade, so a little bit of a tree going here providing some shade in that area. And so I am going to sit here and attempt to do some reading. We're going to sit down, check out the contents of the backpack, and then have a read, do a little bit of reading. And this will be the R part of the W.A.R, walking and reading. So here is the backpack. I think that is a little bit of but we're going to keep the backpack away from this. I will have a seat right here, looks good, and then we're going to open it up to the public. What's in the backpack? So I'm sure folks must be driving by and saying, what is this guy doing? Who is this crazy guy? It's just the Green Dreamer. Green Dreamer on the 758876. The channel of dreams, desires, and aspirations. A channel where dreamers are helping dreamers. So this new program, as I said, is called W.A.R, walking and reading. So hopefully on the next episode we have others joining. I will extend the invitation so we could probably stream, or once we collect the data, collect the information, we can put it out there so we can create a movement of walking and reading. And also it is part of the home book, which is wealth, health, order, and magnanimity. So that's the home principle. I do have the home logo, so I am already exploring the contents of the bag. So this is my handy dandy iPad. I've been working on some materials, so let's take a look at the home logo. So can you zoom it? Yeah. So the home logo looks like this. Yes, if it can be seen. I hope there's not too much of a glare. So you get kind of angle in real time because we're on the road. And so this is what the home logo looks like. Oops. Oops. We'll put it in the video. So the audience can see what the home logo looks like. It's a brand. We're branding the home. Branding, it's another thing. We got a brand. The brand is called Home. So as I said, this is the handy dandy iPad with the Home logo displayed. What else do we have? Reading materials. So the 4 disciplines of execution. Mr. CEO. Not too much dog head, but as you can see, numbered pages, tag, the 4 disciplines of execution. So today I have marked out a very interesting passage that I want to read from that. I brought with me also my light, just in case we would end up in an area or at a time where we'll need lighting. For the lighting, you'd say, oh, he has lighting. What does he have? So I have my Anchor light, not power pack, and for some reason it's warm. Maybe it was on the outside. So it's a 20K 30 watt Anchor power. And the I think it's 20,000 MHAs. MHA means milliamps per hour. And I've got my work phone in case there's an emergency. If it's an emergency, call 119, I guess. But here is my work phone as part of what I carried with me. Put this back. I do have my content creating notebook, as you can see, the 758-876, and all my programs that I plan out, and my writing. I do have my pen in here. I write a lot, so I'm always writing programs that I want to engage. Or this is how I plan some of what I do. Of course, you need your handy dandy wallet with IDs and whatnot. I do not carry cash, unfortunately, so don't mug me. So I do have my drone with me, which is the DJI SE Mini 2 or something like that. So it is the quadcopter Mini 2 SE, so it's the DJI Mini 2 SE. In case we're going to take some aerial view. In this area, like I said, I'm not sure what the sensitivity is, so it's a coin toss. I do have the coin toss app anyways. I have the controller for the drone in here. What else? Next pocket, we see we have some extra cables for charging, cable for in case we have external mics, pouch for the camera, for the Sony ZV-E10, which is what I'm using at the moment. And then one more area, pouchy, I have my wireless mic casing. One is pinned up right there right now, and the other mic is in here in case I have a guest with me on one of those W.A.R, walking and reading. And so that's part of the contents of my backpack today. What else do we have? Oh, I have my clicker, which is used for the camera. It is Bluetooth connected to the camera, so I could click on and click off right here remotely. I have my speakers, my shocks, my headphones, shocks. It was a gift from my wife. Yes, I have lost many. This is the external mic for the camera. I have another old boy, Canon, 16.0 megapixels, 5x optical zoom. Canon has not been used in a while, so it's the PowerShot A2500. PowerShot A2500. I have not used it in 100 years, literally. More cables and such. My headphones, which I have on, my Bose headphones. My handy dandy iPhone is in here, so it's my alternate. Oh, something happened there. It's my alternate local number. Looks like there's a power shot. I may have to put it to charge, an extra battery for the drone. And I even brought me a little candle. Well, it's a power candle. It works. Just in case, we have to go by candlelight. Candlelight. And this is the cover to my camera lens. What else? Extra wires and an extra battery for the camera. I have actually changed one battery onto the camera right now. And then last but not least, got me some coconut water. It's not a promotional video. I'm not sure who sells that coconut, but it says coconut water, which I am going to refresh on some coconut water very shortly. And I did bring also some iCool water. So as it is a relatively warm day out today, before I could have started doing my reading, my camera shut off. So I am continuing on my handy dandy iPhone. I'm refreshing first. First with some coconut water, which I brought on the journey. And then I am going to wash it down. Believe it or not, I am going to wash it down with some of that other water, the iCool. So there we go. iCool, crack it open. We'll talk about the book. It's not a commercial. Alrighty. Now we all refreshed. Camera is cooling down. Let's talk about the book or the read of choice today. So, as I said, it is the 4 disciplines of execution, achieving your wildly important goals, aka the WIG, W-I-G, and it's spoken about a lot in our meetings. Chris McChesney, and Sean Covey, and Jim Holling. with Beverly Walker and Scott Thele. Thele. I didn't make up these names. Anyways, so we're going to go for our read. And I could tell you when I received this book back in 2024. I came back from holidays and found this on my desk. And I looked inside and it says, "To me, greatness lies in your ability to inspire, empower, and learn with something, Lee. Integrity? Probably." It was written by my CEO and I couldn't understand what he was saying. It was written like in a whole different language. Here it is. That's what he wrote. And so I signed it on the day that I received it, December 30th. And we have been discussing it. So I marked out one page that I want to read a passage from. It is part of the W.A.R. and it is called Discipline 3, the third discipline out of the 4 disciplines. So it says, keep a compelling scoreboard. And it reads, people play differently when they're keeping score. If you doubt this, watch any group of teenagers playing a game and see how the level of play changes the minute scorekeeping begins. However, the truth about this statement is more clearly revealed by a change in emphasis. People play differently when they are keeping score. Now, if not about the leader keeping score for them, or it's not about the leader keeping score for them. So discipline 3 is based on the principle of engagement. The highest level of performance always comes from people who are emotionally engaged, and the highest level of engagement comes from knowing the score. This is if people know whether they are winning or losing. Whether they are winning or losing. And flip the page just to complete this paragraph, where they are winning or losing. Is there another word? There's not another word. But it's that simple. Bowling through a curtain might be fun in the beginning, but if you can't see the pins, or you can't see the pins fall, it will soon become boring, even if you really love bowling. So keeping the score, just to go back and read what it says, keeping a compelling scoreboard, and it says people play differently when they are keeping score. Does that relate to you? Does the game change, the game plan change when you know there's a competitive nature to it? There is a reward. There is something that you're working towards, knowing what the plan is, knowing what the score is, knowing are we keeping up to the score. Does that apply to you? Do you see life that way? Do you measure up what you do? Is it worth measuring up? Do some of us go through life just willy-nilly, not measuring what we accomplished for the day, not measuring how far we have gone, how far we have come, and where we want to go? So this is reflective for everybody, and I'm going to hold this in mind as I go through the weekend, as I go through the week, as I go through life, keeping score. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Where are you at now? Can you measure up where you're at now to what you had projected some time ago? So I will leave you with this. with this passage that it says keeping a compelling scoreboard, and people play differently when they're keeping score. So this is our read for today. It comes from the 4 disciplines of execution. So now the reading is completed. So we have done pretty much the war. Going to be heading out back to base and get this out to the public and get this movement going. Let's go to war. Let's walk and read. So getting ready to head back into base. Backpack packed. And we are getting ready. So let's go. Pick up the backpack. Pick up the backpack. Just checking that my mic is still working. It is. It is still on. Get a view again of the hills. Ready to go. Get a view again of port of Jamaica. With a little zoom in as far as we can see, and of the hills as far as we can see. So heading on out, journeying back to base. We have walked, we have read, and now we're walking again. So it's war. Didn't leave anything behind. Walk and read. Walk and read. And our passage today was from the book 4 Disciplines of Execution. And we saw how keeping score makes it more interesting. People become more competitive. People want to do more. People are more motivated. So what you measure gets done. That's the quote. What gets measured gets done. Quote unquote. So this area that I am in right now, is an area that some of the elite class, the elite live. A lot of expats, probably foreigners, as well as locals who have done good for themselves. Some locals who have moved up in the class, because we have to face it, regardless where you are, what country, what island, there is a class segregation or class identification. People do put themselves or regard themselves in a certain group, and these are the associates. These are the people that they would associate with. Just to take a quick look at this mango tree that is, I wouldn't say it's in full bloom, but there are some fruits on the tree. You could see somewhere in this area, right there. Mangoes. You could see mangoes on the tree. This is a huge mango tree. Very mangoey. So as I was saying, this area here is an area of the more elite class. As you could see, going up the hillside, this is where not an ordinary person might be able to build in that area. So the elite live around here. So I thought I should capture this interesting plant, take it from the roots up to the top. And there's a whole family of this plant over here. whole family of this plant over there. Interesting plant. It's from the root. Some roots even look suspended. Suspended, not even planted in the ground. And it is providing nutrients for the tree itself. Very interesting. It speaks to some of us as human beings as well. We are rooted and planted, and some of our support system is not part of our families. And so, but we do get that support from, let's say, external sources connected to our situation. So, which is what the plant, I think, is showing in some sense, that though it has roots that are planted in the ground, it still has roots that are suspended, but still providing support for the plant itself. Quite interesting. Turns out to be a relatively busy day, busy traffic day on a day like today. It's a Saturday, I must declare. It is a Saturday. Environmental permit. Something is happening beyond these walls. NEPA, National Environmental Permit. Something. They are the authority in Jamaica. Oh yeah, National Environment and Planning Agency, working together with Natural Resources Conservation Authority. Just a scene of what's going on just before we get back into camp. Into base we go, back to base. So as we take this turn, this left turn, back heading on into base. So just walked in, back through the gate, and heading back into camp. So we're already at this camp. So that was the journey of warring. First episode, walking and reading. So we walked, did some sightseeing, then we found a good spot, quiet, relatively, and then we read, had a moment of reflection, and then we walked back to base, back to the camp. That was not too bad. Some of you should try this. So we'll start a movement of the walking and reading as part of the home movement. And now we're back at this. Thank you for coming on the journey. Thank you for viewing. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, and share this lovely message of warring. A message of walking and reading to get inspired, get motivated, and all that good old stuff. See you in the next one.